Thank you. I'd like to call to order the meeting tonight at 6:30. Councilmember Johnson, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Please stand and face the...
Mr. Duff, roll call, please.
Mayor Hepburn? Oh, not here. Mayor Pro Tem Crosby?
Here.
Councilmember Lau?
Present.
Councilmember Johnson?
Here.
And Councilmember Cash? Not here.
And sorry to regret the mayor and councilmember, Mayor Hepburn and Councilmember Cash, if you already had previous plans and that could not be at tonight's meeting. So now number 4, announcements, upcoming community events. Mr. Duff, can you first talk about our cooling centers and when they are open for our community?
Obviously, it's been very hot this last week, and it's going to be hot this week and probably next week. The cooling center at the community center, at the Civic Center just behind City Hall, is going to be activated all this week, September 6th through September 9th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Next week, depending on the temperature, it may be activated again, but we'll post that on our website. Just a couple of notes. We are unable to accommodate animals, so sorry, no pets. Masks are not required. Hopefully that's good news. And if you have questions about the cooling center or if you're not able to access the website for next week's availability, you can call 909-596-8776. That's the Community Services Department, and they will give you an update for next week.
Thank you. Mr. George May.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, city staff, and Laverne residents. I just want to talk about some of the things that are happening at Laverne Library this month. We started our new session of the Smarty Pants Story Time. That's going to be held every Friday from 11:30 to 12 p.m. It is for children ages 2 through 5 with a parent or caregiver. There will be books, songs, rhymes, and motion activities. And during each week, there'll be a specific activity for that story time. So this week, there's going to be color and cut out a school bus on a road. Next week, there'll be a make a friendship flower. And the last week, there'll be a color and label emotions. Attendance is limited, so advanced registration is required, and you can do that by going to the library or going to visit.aileycounty.org/events and just isolate the search to Laverne Library, and you can register that way. We also have a activity kit for school-age children from ages 5 through 12. It's a Be a Nature Explorer. It involves a clear jar with air holes, and it requires the person that picks up the activity to look in their backyard and see what kind of plant and animal life they can find and put it into the jar. And when they're done, put it back. Also, we have the activity kit for teens, ages 13 to 17. It's called Solve a Library Mystery. The person will get a bag with back-to-school supplies. However, it will have a combination lock on it, and in order for them to open up that lock and get their goodies, they have to answer 4 questions. 3 of those questions provide the numbers to the lock, and the 4th question provides the order of those numbers. And the last two programs we have are in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, which runs from September 15th through October 15th. The first one is an adult activity kit dealing with Talavera tiles, the traditional Mexican ceramic art form. The materials that will be provided are template printed on cardstock, colored markers, and pencils so the person can create their own tiles. And the last one is a program for ages 5 through 12. It's on Wednesday, September 28th at 6 o'clock. It is called Meet the Artist Frida Kahlo. Attendees will learn about her life and paintings, and then the attendees will get a chance to create their own artwork based on her paintings. So that's what's going on in September. There's something for everybody, so please come and join us and find out.
And the air conditioning works.
Air conditioning does work very well.
Good. Thank you. Ms. Yvonne Gallegos.
Thank you, and good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. Erin, hi, nice to meet you again. Mr. Jeffen, Mr. Kress, residents. My name is Yvonne Gallegos, and I am the Vice Chair of the CASI Committee, Cultural Awareness and Social Inclusion, and I would like to invite everyone to our upcoming meeting, which will be held tomorrow, right here in City Council chambers at 5 p.m. So if you're around, please come and, all are welcome to attend our meeting. The topic is going to be public banking, something that I learned about recently, and I thought maybe that giving a presentation on public banking and what is public banking and how it could benefit all residents in our community and give back to our community as well is a very important subject. So please join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. right here in City Council chambers for our CASI meeting, and I hope to see you there. Oh, one more thing, sorry. CASI is going to be co-sponsoring with the Laverne Historical Society in October. I know it's a month away, but Mr. May, in bringing up his Hispanic Heritage Month, we're going to be co-sponsoring with the Historical Society a presentation on Dia de los Muertos that will be held at Hillcrest on October 10th from 4 to 7 p.m. And we have a great presenter, and we're going to have an ofrenda, an altar, also on display. And thank you. Good things to come.
Thank you. Any other announcements for upcoming community events? Ms. Bocha.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. I just want to remind the residents of the City of Laverne that this Thursday, September 8th, from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. is the Probation Oversight Committee meeting. There was a meeting today. As a matter of fact, LA County Board of Supervisors did continue to discuss the SYTF and juvenile camp detention centers. Although the Board of Supervisors voted not to have the level 4 707B offenders at Camp Afflerball and Page, there have been a turn of events that may bring that back to the table. There is a lawsuit City of Santa Clarita filed against the LA County Board of Supervisors, and they have filed for an injunction. The decision has not yet been made. So if that injunction is upheld, they will be forced to find an alternate location, as well as a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, a class action lawsuit against LA County Probation Department for sexual abuse and misconduct at Camp Scott, which is the location that the Board of Supervisors has chosen. So those two reasons alone, plus many others, could very easily put Camp Afflerball and Page back on the map. So I encourage the residents, if they are available, please email info@poc.lacounty.gov. Email your comments, or if you're available to attend the meeting via WebEx, which is like Zoom, but it's their own version of that. And there is a phone number you can call. If you cannot do through the internet, you can call and just listen and or speak over the phone. So,
can you say that website one more time for everybody?
Yes. It's an email address, info@poc.lacounty.gov. And you can email them requesting the link to participate in the internet meeting or the phone number, and there's a password and code that you would have to enter in, but it is open to the public. So, thank you.
Thank you. I saw another hand up. Yes.
My name is Lily Breno. I have two events regarding Bonita School District. There are two meetings. One is tomorrow night is a school board meeting. Actually, school board meeting is open for everyone, for public, not just Bonita parents, citizens too. Especially even my two kids in private school, not in Bonita, I still attend every single month because so many very important issues, especially right now, so many bill is coming to our public school. You might see in the news. They are real, even worse, because we find out so many things happening. The first week from last, you just think about something like a map. Google Map is not map. It's called mayor, I don't know how to say it, okay. Minor attract people, something like that. So something you feel like curious. Our kids know a lot more than us. So we have to go to school board meeting to figure out what is really teaching in school board meeting. So I encourage everyone really go to take a look. Maybe your kids, your grandkids, they are going to learn all this, maybe not your family value. So that's the first thing tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Bonita School District. The second meeting is very important, is a candidate forum will happening so it will be September 8th. It will be a Zoom meeting. So Bonita School District will have 3 seats open in November. We really, really want to vote for the right person. It doesn't matter you support Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. Actually, this meeting is hosted by Bonita Democratic Council. Actually, I'm pretty conservative, so I don't really belong to this group. But I encourage everyone go to the link to register. Their website is not really working. BonitaDemocrat.org is not working, but the meeting ID, I already have the ID, 822-546-817-997. Sorry, I repeat again. 822-546-817-997. 81997. It will be September 8th, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So the information already have a pre-answer 12 question, but I think it's too general. They didn't really ask some really important issue we're concerning. I encourage everyone go to attend the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, we'll move on. Number 5, consent calendar. Item D, Youth and Family Action Committee Executive Board appointment has been pulled. Correct, Mr. Duff? Okay. So vote on the rest of the consent calendar besides D.
I move to approve the rest of the consent calendar absent 5D.
Second?
Second.
Vote. All approved. Wait for it to come up there.
There were.
Well, we have 3 approved and the other 2 are not.
You want a show of hands?
That's fine. No, we're good. As long as we say it, if they didn't put it up on the screen. Excellent. All right. So now item D, Youth and Family Action Executive Board appointment. Mr. Johnson, you asked for this to be pulled?
Yes, I'm abstaining from this vote.
Okay. I think it's from the public also. Do you have any words?
Any?
Do you want to come up and say anything? Just want it pulled. We pulled it, yes.
The Youth and Family Action Committee?
Yeah, it was just for further discussion. That was
Okay.
Yeah, for a later date.
So come up and...
Okay. I just asked for it to be pulled for further discussion for a later date.
For a later date.
Yeah.
Oh, to postpone it?
Postpone from tonight. Uh-huh.
Is there any reasons?
Just for further discussion so that everybody can have time to discuss it.
The rest of the council?
And input, yeah, from the residents.
Well,
Is there any urgency to have this vote tonight?
the next Youth and Family Action Committee meeting is on, I believe, it's on Tuesday, I believe the 27th, which falls after our next council meeting.
So we So there wouldn't be any harm then postponing it to the next council meeting?
No.
But you only have one
But-
application.
Yeah.
There's only one applicant.
And two other members that aren't here.
Mhm.
We're still, are you talking about?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone want to speak?
I do. Hello, Robin Carter, resident. Yes, I was at the last meeting for the Youth and Family. We only had one applicant that submitted an application, and so the committee, the candidate has been on the committee since the inception of the committee, and he is more than qualified. And as in the past, being on the council, you're ratifying this decision that the committee did. So I ask that the vote is taken tonight so we can move forward with our committee moving forward on it. Thank you.
Mr. Duff, any response?
Can I get that? Well, I think a good point was made. There was one applicant, and the Youth and Family Action Committee Executive Board, I believe, voted unanimously to recommend the appointment of the applicant to the committee. So if it were delayed to the next meeting, I don't think it would interfere with the following committee meeting on the 27th. However, nothing's going to change. You have one applicant. So I'm not sure what there is to discuss. Sorry.
Okay. Any response from the other council members? Is there a motion? Sorry.
I move to approve 5D.
And I'm allowed to second it, correct? So second. Any discussion? Sorry. Councilmember Lau.
So I would just echo that there has been one applicant that was widely publicized through the website, through social media, through members of the community. I know I reached out to various members who have not served on YFAC previously because I know that there has been a desire from the public to be able to engage in different committees. I also advised of when there are openings for active transportation. For whatever reason, the only applicant we have for YFAC is the applicant that we received, John Kendrick. So I don't see a reason not to appoint him, especially based on his past work in this community and on this committee in particular. My concern and my question at this point is that if Mr. Johnson is choosing to abstain and we have three members here, we don't have enough to pass anything.
No, we do. We have a quorum. If it's a vote 2-1, it still would pass. If it's vote 2-0-1, it still pass.
Well, I want to make sure that that's right in parliamentary procedure, that we don't need a majority of the 5 total, just the majority of the quorum.
Of the quorum.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I believe in that even we have a quorum and that we have business to abide to, that we keep moving forward. Second, I would ask for a vote on this. And 2-0 and abstentions of 1. It passes. Thank you. Okay, now to item 6, public communication. I want to remind public communication, this is set aside for items not listed in any other place on the agenda, and that there is a 3-minute time limit on our public comments. So the first one we have is Judy St. John for a public comment. Welcome, Judy.
Where I live, my property backs up to Fairplex Drive. So I'm actually in the city of Pomona, but bordering Laverne and San Dimas. So I just want to talk about how we share common interests, all of us who live around the fairgrounds. And I think it's important for you to know what Fairplex is proposing for their zoning, for their specific plan in the city of Pomona. I don't know if you know that there have been 2 meetings for the public to attend to learn about what it is that they are thinking they'd like to do there. I was actually shocked to learn at the last meeting that they want to build 10,000 housing units on the fairgrounds. And when you think about the traffic that will cause, I think it's important that your residents and that you are able to weigh in and to see how well their plan will fit. I think your input and your residents' input is important when you think about Carvana and how the residents of Laverne were able to help in the effort to help Carvana go away. It was causing terrible traffic problems for residents of Laverne and of Pomona. So anyway, I hope that maybe you'll contact the city and ask to be notified of the meetings that take place regarding the specific plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Gomez? Thank you, Lisa.
My name is Lisa Gomez, and I live in the city of Pomona, right near the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds. Within the past 7 or 8 years, many residents that live in the surrounding area have noticed an increase in noise, traffic, and trash, just in general. Now, the Fairplex has released their specific plan that will not be good for both Laverne and Pomona residents. I believe we are all aware of what happened when the Fairplex held raves. 2 young women died. Carvana was another disaster. And now the Fairplex is proposing 10,500 units, housing units. But what are they going to house? They want a wellness center. Is that for mentally ill? That's the question. What are they going to house? And it will impact all of us. So I urge all of the council to please get involved, ask questions, protect your Laverne residents, because this is not going to be good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sylvia Hirota? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvia Hirota, and I live right on the borderline of Pomona and Laverne. And I really want to stress the traffic conditions that we're going to have with this Fairplex, not counting the police, the fire department, depending on what their terminology is on wellness housing. That's my concern. Also, there's just too much traffic around there. They say they're going to do traffic studies, but we, the community, can tell them right out hand what the traffic is already without doing these studies. You know, on Arrow Highway and White and Gary and Bonita, all those areas are so traffic up right now that it's, and besides the housing, they also want to put up like a park. They want to put up vendor sites where people can sell stuff. They also want to put up farming area where people can grow their own farm and vegetables. It's just a whole big, let's say a comparison to like Elysian Park in LA. Can we really accommodate all that? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Joe Silva? Thank you.
Good evening, Council. I'm also a resident of Pomona. I live over by the fairgrounds on the east side. I'm not going to say much on what the fair is contemplating until they actually put something on paper. I think it's a waste of time. Two things I think that mainly the supervisors, not the city, not the fairgrounds, but the supervisors need to look at. One is water use. 10,000 units of housing to start with. That's a real estate version of Carvana as far as I'm concerned. And also the use of the fairgrounds as a national disaster logistics site. If they develop that, it will not have the flexibility required in times of a great national disaster. I think more people becoming more aware of what that might entail. Recently, people were informed about most people know there's a great flood in the winter of 1860-61. It flooded the state. It flooded from Vancouver to San Diego. If we lose the fairgrounds and something like that happens, we would be hard-pressed to find a place for logistics. That's just one thing that the Fairplex has not considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Henry Mascaro.
Good evening. Oops. Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Mascaro. I reside in Laverne on Bonita Avenue, walking distance to the Fairplex. We attended a meeting on August 31st regarding an update draft plan for Fairplex in Pomona. Is there any way someone can address a letter, possibly to the city of Pomona, to let the neighborhood around where I live and everybody else in the area in Laverne know when they will have another meeting in November? When I did ask, they said it's either going to be the first week or second week, but we're not sure. So I wanted to address that. And then, let's see. I feel that there should be a way to notify the residents what their intentions are. And what are your plans to protect our main streets as Bonita and White Avenue? Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Mike Brenna.
Good evening. Yes, I'm a Laverne resident for 40 years, and we live just east of White on Bonita. And last week we just found out about this expansion at the fair, and I'm surprised that the city of Laverne or anybody hasn't contacted the people involved in the area, the residents, because I think it's going to be a big thing. They talked about the 10,500 housing units. But even if there's just two people, which, that'd still be 21,000 people moving in that small little few hundred acres. In Laverne, we got 34,000 for this whole city. I mean, you can put 20-some thousand right there. And then the traffic, and just like the other people said, the water. They also talk about over 1 million square feet of retail space, commercial space. They also mentioned an 8,000 square foot or 8,000 seat like an event stage for there. And I mean, they have so much stuff thinking about going in there. I can't imagine how you get back and forth, I mean, how the fair is all the time, how it just jams up everything, which people don't mind because it's only lasts for a few weeks or a month and people get enjoyment out of it. But they're still going to try to have the fair. I can't imagine how big the fair would be, but they're still trying to have the fair. They say they're going to try to keep the NHR, the drag race there, but I can't imagine after one event, it rattles windows at our place, let alone have 10,000 people or 10,000 units right there next to it. I'm sure they would have to push that out right away. But other people brought up some important things, like you say, emergency and everything. But I just can't believe that, like you say, traffic, water, power. We can only water once a week right now here. And we got an alert coming over here today. You can't use no power because they're afraid it's going to be shut off. And how would you put this much more people in here and events and stuff? So I was just seeing if you are going to be putting this on the council or for a meeting or something where other people can discuss it, or we can send out, especially the people in the south end of Laverne that's affected by this, because I think it's going to be pretty dramatic, and if we don't say something or do something, it's already went this far without anybody even knowing anything about it, as far as we know. So I appreciate your time, and I hope you can do something. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody on the phone? Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience? Ms. Beauchamp?
Good evening again. I want to take a moment to thank Sean Igo and his team, everybody involved at Public Works who helped facilitate the sidewalk repairs utilizing the ARPA money. And I know that the subcontractors that were used, they did a really good job vetting these people. They were friendly, they were clean, and just coincidentally, they broke my sprinklers in front of my house. But with that said...
And you're here thanking him.
No, I am, because, it happens in demolition, it happens. But they did a job like no one else. They went above and beyond. They were very courteous. They came back even a few days later to make sure that there were no leaks, that we had proper water pressure. So I know that doesn't seem like a big deal right now because nobody's really watering. So when we are able to water again, it'll be nice to know that it will work properly. So thank you, Sean. My family and I, we really appreciate that. The other neighbors on Amherst also appreciate that. I, too, want to jump on board with this facility that's being proposed at the Fairplex. I'm sure that the city of Laverne had to be aware, but I have to say that I'm disappointed that they were not notifying the residents, social media, website, so that the residents of Laverne could also attend to that meeting, because I didn't know about it until after the fact. I would like to know more about it, and I don't know if this is something that Mayor Hepburn may be aware of because he's involved with Transportation Committee, Active Transportation Committee. Are these 10,500 units part of the Aero Corridor, part of the Gold Line project? Is this part of RENA numbers? What exactly is this project? Where is it coming from? Whose idea is it? And with that said, because it's on the border of the city, what is the city going to do, and what are they proposing to increase our safety? We've had numerous discussions about how our police department is already short-staffed, working OT, and all of these other projects, the homeless project that's being implemented, and now we're going to have this right on our doorstep. So I really am asking the city to please be proactive and be involved in this, but to please be transparent and let the residents know when these meetings are going to take place. It'd be nice if the city got the information from Pomona firsthand and then maybe did a study session or some kind of informative meeting for the residents here so that we understand exactly what is on the table before we go to the city of Pomona and go squawk at their council. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Barry?
Good evening, Council. My main thing I want to mention is the fallen trees from January that are as dead as can be on the golf course, and I know that property owner had until the end of July to clear that. And now it's gone to the county. Where are we with that? Because right now it's really scary because it's dry, it's hot. It can go up and take out homes in a matter of minutes. So just wanted to see what the follow-up is, what the timeline is, and when that can be cleared up.
Thank you. My name is Lily. I'm the resident, live in Old Town, very close to Fairground. What I concern is still the transparency, because I saw the social media all over on the news, the Sun, Daily Bulletin, everything. It's just like a copy. Everybody say, hey, pretty big project. It just looked like a done deal. I don't really feel like I would do anything. Just get info you, come in, 10,000 unit, and then how many residents? At least double, right? How many residents in Laverne? Just more than 30,000. Think about how many residents gonna right away in coming years live south of my house. So since 3-4 years ago, I know so many neighbors, because we're against the White and White Avenue, because we want to keep the old town feel. So let me think about, if the Fairplex have that much unit, we were really, really close to metropolitan style. I was grow up in building, okay? Why I come here is really the old town feel. I want our city more like the Kalima, not less like Pomona. That's why we don't want to cut people's property become White and White Avenue. That's how we got started. So now, at that time, we concern more about the traffic. Difficult, very hard, okay? And then, because Go Light coming, we concern more about the homeless, because we already saw the homeless wandering in front of our street. Now, I come here just for air condition, okay? It's too hot. Because we're good citizens. We didn't, really. Today, we just use fan, okay? We're good citizens. I saw my garden suffering without water. See them dying, okay? My plant, my roses, everything becomes succulent. Then succulent still dying. So I am the rosarian. I'm plant person. For me, they're just like a kitty and doggy, okay? So in the future, how could we have enough water resource for the whole bunch, 10,500 unit? How about the electric? At this moment, we should turn off any air condition here, turn off, because we need to get the flash alert 4 to 9 o'clock. Unnecessary air conditioning is unnecessary. Only lights enough, because we need to save some people for emergency. That's our current situation. I really want everybody to think about it. Is it possible? Are you going to be happy with that? Wow, metropolitan, a lot of nice buildings, look like a very nice small city, and then we have a Gold Line. Imagine that. I was already living in that style 20 years ago in China, okay? You should not celebrate. It's awful. So I hope our city will be really good, keep the transparency. I know Cash and Mayor team will watch this video later. Please have a transparency information to listen to Laverne residents before the November hearing, something like that. I don't say it's a done deal, money already here, we follow the money, we have nothing to say. So please inform everyone to have everybody have a voice. Thank you.
Thank you. We want to try to get that person on the phone. Yeah, we have one phone on. Okay, so why don't we pull up the Zoom while we're getting the phone? Are they available right now? So why don't we try calling them, get the Zoom one on, and then try calling the other one so we can get it right away too, please.
Do you mind if I speak?
Sure, right. Let's do the Zoom, and then we'll get right to you. So. Sorry, I didn't see your hand up before.
No worries.
So. Mr. Bowen, you're on mute. There you go. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, sir.
Interim Manager, Mr. Duff, welcome. I just have a couple comments and a request. To piggyback on what Pam just said, that we've had a lot of discussion about the Sierra Laverne Golf Course, and we keep hearing that, we're going to county, somebody's going to... All I've done is watch for the last couple of weeks major fires all over the state, and they talk about the dry tinder. And as Pam said, there are trees that have been down for 6 months, 8 months now. And the question is when. So I know she asked for an update, and I hope we get one this evening, because we're a spark away from a major fire in North Laverne, and I'm sure nobody wants to hear any of that. Second is we obviously now have an interim city manager, an interim finance director, and as far as I heard, did I hear that Mr. Igo has left the position of Public Works Director? And so if that's the case, what is the status? Can we get a status update on the filling of those 3 critical positions within the city, 3 of the major positions within the city? So I don't know if we'll get an update tonight on the search, but it would certainly be interesting to know where we stand. And lastly, I just wanted to say that tonight's vote was interesting again. There's 3 people there. 1 abstained, but 2 felt that the comments from the citizen should be disregarded and go ahead and move instead of waiting to the next meeting when there's a full council. This is reminiscent of certainly past council meetings where things were rushed through. I just want to say that Cash ran on safety when he was elected, and the first thing he did was suggest that we do a safety review. So thank you, Cash, even though you're not there tonight. Steve Johnson ran on voting, and the first thing he did was to request a review of the new voting regulations, and he did that, and I hope we're going to hear a status update on that tonight also. And lastly, Tim Hepburn, our mayor, ran on safety and voting and transparency with an audit. And in fact, Steve, Cash, and Tim all said they would want an audit should they be elected. Well, they are elected. So I'm requesting this, and I can do this verbally, that the audit being put on the agenda for the next meeting for a discussion and potentially a motion and a vote. So please note that is a request for an agenda item for the next meeting. And with that, I will sign off, wishing everybody a nice, cool evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the council.
She's going to mute that so it doesn't fire.
Good to go? Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, residents of Laverne. My name is Vincent Tsai. I am a candidate for State Senate, District 22. I'm looking to represent all of you.
Mr. Tsai, though, just address us, please. Thank you.
Currently, I'm a deputy with the LA County Sheriff's Department. Things have gotten so bad that it's gotten to a point where now cops have to run for office. Myself, Michael McMahon, running to be your representative for State Assembly, District 41, and Burton Brink. We are all part of a Heroes Coalition that are law enforcement or prior law enforcement that are looking to continue to serve and help save our state. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but hearing the residents' concerns about the 10,500 unit housing being built on the Fairplex, my opponent wrote SB 9 and voted for SB 10. These bills allow developers to come in and build multi-unit duplexes on plots of land meant for single-family homes. This is going to cause problems for our infrastructure, electric, water. There's not going to be enough parking. They only require 1 parking space per unit. Traffic's going to be out of control. So in office, I am looking to repeal SB 9 and SB 10 so that we can save our single-family neighborhoods And so our neighborhoods don't look like these new developments where it's just row after row after row of duplexes that look exactly the same. Being a law enforcement officer, I'm looking forward to tackling the issue on crime. It's out of control. I'm going to look forward to repealing AB 109, Prop 47, and Prop 57. Criminals need to be held accountable for their crimes, and victims and survivors need the support that they deserve. It's not the other way around. I thank you for everybody's time. I appreciate you listening. If anybody wants to find out anything more about me, Senate.com, Senate.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sy. And the phone? You're doing a great job.
Is this how we normally do it? Oh. Hi, is this Joseph? This is Aaron from City of Laverne. We have you for the council comment. Okay, I'm going to put you on speaker.
And who do we have?
Joseph Galvadon.
Thank you, Mr. Galvadon. We can please speak so we can hear you.
Okie doke. Thank you very much. Sorry I couldn't be there this evening, but I wanted to call in and comment and echo pretty much everything that's been said tonight regarding the Fairplex proposal for the development of over 10,000 homes. I think just for perspective for those in the audience and those listening, that the city of Laverne itself has just over 11,000 homes in all of its area, and that area is 8.56 square miles. A square mile is approximately 640 acres. For the density of the 10,500 homes in a parcel of land approximately 200 to 300 acres by itself, we're talking about a density that is nothing like we've seen in any surrounding community outside of perhaps the city of Los Angeles itself. So I think that it's time for the council to take this more seriously than it probably has, in the idea that there's no way that that project was developed overnight and without the participation of somebody with the city of Laverne, where transparency is very much an issue. And for those residents who live in proximity to this area, whose world will be disrupted, whether it's in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, including council members who live along that Arrow Highway corridor, I beg them to look at this through a different lens, perhaps, and see what this could bring to Laverne. Not just the positives that are easy to sell people, but what are those true challenges that must be reviewed and critically thought through, including what was mentioned this evening regarding the widening of White Avenue. White Avenue was preserved because of the community's uprising. That said, it is also a bottleneck for the proposed traffic that is going to need White Avenue to move north and south along its corridor up to the 210 and down at the 10. So this is a serious thing. Quality of life is at our concern. The widening of White Avenue, the property values of essentially doubling the Laverne housing market on its border, all those things should be taken seriously, and I ask that the city take it seriously forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Galvadon. Any last public comments? Okay, we'll close public comments and move to City Council comments. Councilman Johnson.
Planning.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, I'm sorry. There were a couple questions. I'm sorry. I want Mr. Duff to, if he could respond to it all. Mr. Duff, I know there was a response about the city manager. Where are we in that process? I know applications, I believe, are in.
Applications will close September 9th, which is Friday. The recruitment firm that the city has hired to do the search has indicated that it'll take a couple of weeks for him to sift through the candidates and arrive at some manageable number of candidates for the city council to interview. We have a preliminary date of Friday, October 7th from council members that we hope to have the first round of interviews for the city manager position. Following that, there's background checks and a number of other things that need to occur. So the recruitment is on schedule, and it is hoped that if we're able to keep to the schedule, that there should be a permanent city manager appointed hopefully by mid to late November.
Thank you. I see Mr. Igor here, so thank you. Appreciate all the stuff you're doing. We also have interim finance, and I know we're out and recruiting that as well.
Well, the finance position, we're hoping the city council will approve an agreement that will appear on your September 19th agenda. And that position, hopefully, if the council approves that agreement, should be ready to start within 2 weeks following that. So the finance director position appears to be hopefully settled. The public works director, it is true, Mr. Igo is moving on to another opportunity. We are out recruiting right now. It's already been flown for the position. And typically recruitment for that level of management position will take probably 3 to 4 months. In the meantime, we are also bringing a interim public works director contract to the council on September 19th, and hopefully, if that's approved, you will have an interim public works director starting immediately thereafter.
Well, thank you. I appreciate everything Mr. Igo's done. And the last one, I'm sorry, is there any update about the golf course? And there might not be, might just need to bring back to the next meeting.
The golf course, okay. Somebody mentioned that there is a process for these things, and I apologize for sometimes the bureaucracy just drags on forever, but the notice to the property owner has been given. His time to respond has come and gone. So we're in a position now to develop a plan to hopefully address the downed trees that are within 200 feet of a residence. I want to caution you, the plan we're putting together will not address all the downed trees. Those are outside the 200 foot area. We won't be addressing those. Hopefully they'll be addressed at some time in the future. But our fire chief, I've just met with the fire chief and the fire marshal. They've indicated that they are highly concerned about the fire danger as well. And we are prepared to hopefully find the fastest track possible to getting those trees that are within 200 feet of residences cleared. That's our hope. I don't think there's much more to add than that.
Thank you. I think that's all the questions I know and the concerns of the.
Did you want any comments on the specific plan?
And maybe I'm sorry. Maybe discuss that is their Pomona's specific plan that they are trying to develop, but we should put out to residents
right.
when those dates are.
That was my only comment. I wanted to assure residents that we have been in contact with the Fairplex as well as the city of Pomona, and we have told them that we would like the neighborhoods in Laverne that's adjacent to the Fairplex to be notified of any future meetings concerning this specific plan. Now, what form that notice takes, I think will be consistent with the form that it takes in Pomona. I don't know if they're mailing notices or they're doing door hangers. but our hope is whatever they're doing to notify citizens of Pomona, they will also notify residents that are adjacent to the Fairplex in Laverne. In addition, we are going to be posting future Fairplex specific plan meetings on on the City of Laverne website, and wherever we can on available social media as well.
All right, thank you. Now, item number 7, Councilmember Johnson.
Mr. Duff? Jess? One other comment regarding that. I know because I received a link to the video from the first meeting that was, I don't know if it was a Zoom or a WebEx or whatever the format was, but the city does have that original meeting. We should probably post that one as well for residents that have not seen it. That's really the only comment I have at this point in time, but we want to be as transparent as possible, and if we have that original meeting, I think we should have it on our website for residents to go look at it. I mean, there's nothing worse than hearsay and a telephone tree where everything gets put out of context. So I'd rather have the facts out there.
Excellent. Councilmember Lau?
To go along on that, for those of you that may not have remembered, but I think it was last meeting or the meeting previous, it might have been, I live right by the Fairplex, and when I say right by the Fairplex, I mean I can spit and probably hit the Fairplex. So the Fairplex was the one who sent notices to my neighborhood. So I don't know what the city of Pomona is doing, so I appreciate our interim city manager looking into that to make sure that the residents who are living adjacent to the Fairplex get the same notice from the city of Pomona. However, I did announce during my council comments that there was a meeting on August 31st. So I will continue to provide updates because I care about what happens at the Fairplex because, like I said, I could spit and reach the Fairplex from where I live. But I did also attend the meeting that took place on the 31st, and to Councilmember Johnson's point, it is really important that you look and read and learn about these things on your own, rather than just taking the word of someone that tells you something. The specific plan is available on the Fairplex's website, so you can look through the entire document if you were not able to make it to the meeting. It does have the whole background, the context, etc., and at least it'll give you the information to make the decision that you think is appropriate for you. Looking at the website right now, they don't have a specific date for November, but as I said, if and when I get the notice, which I probably will because I live that close, I will advise during my council comments about when that event is taking place. But again, you can look through the history of the specific plan process up until this point and educate yourselves on what is happening. So take a look, and I will say this, the numbers that are being thrown out there is from what I understand, so don't take it from me, go read and figure this out for yourself, but that is not like in a year 10,500 units are coming up. That is if they were to actually approve at all phases and if there was actually money to actually achieve all of those things. So that's where the input from the community is important to say, what do you want first? What doesn't or does make sense for that particular plot of land, which, by the way, can fit all of Exposition Park and or Disneyland in there, which I thought was really impressive because I didn't know that it was that huge. But please go take a look, educate yourselves, and learn about it. The other things I will point out, the YFAC meeting took place on August 23rd, and I'm sure Mayor Pro Tem Crosby will have some points to share as well. But I thought it was a very good meeting. The BUSD gave their report. It was right before school was starting, so it was really great. I do want to give kudos out to the police department. I think Colleen is on the phone, but they're running a wonderful tobacco prevention program with our students, and I think it's pretty amazing. So if you haven't had a chance to talk to them about the proactive steps that they're taking with our community, that's really amazing. So take a look there. Tri-City Mental Health, who you know is a partner to this city, has also been providing a tremendous resource to our children. I know we've talked about this in the past, but the pandemic has really done a number on mental health. And so the resources that are available through Tri-City is invaluable. So if you aren't familiar, please familiarize yourselves with it, because you never know when someone you know might be in need of those services. And to tag on to Hispanic Heritage Month. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month starting September 15th. The other thing that September is known for, it is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And again, I would urge you to take a look at the Tri-Cities website. There are a lot of programs that are free and available for folks that want to learn more about how to help folks that may be encountering incidents of suicide ideation. Maybe you're feeling that, but take a look. It's really important. Again, mental wellness, especially in this time, is really important. And then on a somewhat personal note, I also want to say thank you to the Laverne Fire Department and to the Laverne Police Department. A couple days ago, a fire, if you weren't aware, took place at the public storage right on Arrow and White. Again, that is spitting distance from where I live. And so I didn't even know it happened until I got a text from a neighbor at 5 a.m. saying, "Did you hear this? Did you see this?" And she said immediately when she heard the explosion, she called, and our fire department and our police department were out there taking care of it. So thank you so much for containing that. It really could have been far worse, far worse. So I appreciate you so much. So thank you, and as always, have a good week, be kind to each other, and stay cool and hydrated.
Thank you, Councilmember Lau. I'll be short and sweet because it is warm outside. We do have the library open, have air conditioning. Thank you, Yvonne, for having our cooling centers open for our residents as well. Please look after one another, check on one another, especially during these trying times when the heat's out and people's air conditioning. I know my air conditioning went out this weekend. The fuse is going. There's not a fuse, let me tell you, in 150 miles from around here in any Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. So make sure you stock up on those because when this time comes, when you need it, you really will. But just look out for each other. So today we're having an adjournment to Monday, September 19th, 2022 at 6 p.m. to honor for our Little League presentation. So come out and help honor our Little League softball and Little League baseball teams that went on so far. We have adjournment in memory of our Laverne Police, RSVP, Ann Anderegg. Ann was born on November 26, 1928. She became an RSVP in 2003, and she volunteered almost for every assignment. She always had a smile on her face and loved every aspect of her duties as RSVP. Ann's favorite assignment was patrolling, and she earned the nickname of Leadfoot. I think she came by my house a couple times. She loved helping with the Baker to Vegas race and driving in the Los Angeles County Fair Parade, and contributed over 3,700 hours in the 19 years that she served the Laverne Police Department. One of her favorite hobbies was bowling. She'll be missed for her humor and beautiful smile. Also, in memory of Ontario Fire Engineer Curtis Trevor Gold. On the morning of August 27th, 2022, Fire Engineer Gold passed away during an off-duty accident. Curtis was raised in Laverne and graduated from Bonita High School in 2006. He attended the University of Redlands to pursue his bachelor's in business, where he was also the wide receiver for the football team. Later in his professional career, he joined the City of Ontario as a firefighter in 2016 and was promoted to fire engineer in 2019. He was an active member of the Urban Search and Rescue Team and was also a training instructor. Curtis was a passionate member of the community, participating in many charitable projects. Some of the things he loved doing included spending time with his family and friends at the river, playing softball, mountain biking, making people laugh, and creating new memories with his wife, Taylor. Thank you both to Curtis Trevor and to Ann Anderegg for serving so many people. We really do appreciate you. Our next regular meeting of the Laverne City Council is scheduled for Monday, September 19th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. I adjourn this meeting at 7:34.